Hi guys, in this video I'm going to talk about how much money I made in my first and in my second mobile game. So let's start with the mobile games that I've made. I've made a mobile game called Castaway Chickens and another mobile game which is called Flood. Castaway Chickens is over 1 year old and Flood is also almost reaching 1 year of age, but let's figure out how much money they made. So the money that Castaway Chickens made is $0, but there are reasons for it. And the first reason is I did nothing in marketing, and the second reason is I did actually also nothing on getting revenue in the first place, or at least not for a very long time, because you see, when Castaway Chickens was released, there were ads in it, and of course, if you do nothing on marketing, you do not get any players, which means that the ads don't do anything. But I decided to remove the ads for one very good reason in my opinion, which is I got approached by a publisher. And that is more valuable than money at this point. Because you see, when you get approached by a publisher, it is so that the publisher can boost your game up if it is good enough. They will market for you, they will give you money if it is good enough, and so on and so on. But in order to get a publisher, first you need to have a game, which I had, and then you need to approach the publisher, or other way around, like what happened to me. The publisher approached me. If you're a bit familiar in marketing, you probably also know that publishers are everywhere. It's not that your game is very special, but it's some way to get noticed when you're just starting out. But for me, as a rookie in game development marketing, I thought it was pretty special, and that was why I pursued that path. So in order to get your game published by a publisher, you need to do a couple of things. First, you need the game, which can be tested to see if it appeals to the player base. If it appeals to the player base, it will just grow, and if it grows enough, then the publisher will say, okay, we will publish your game, and thus making money and getting marketing for free. But in order to get your game there, it needs to be tested, and in order to get it tested, you need to disable your ads. That was why I disabled the ads in the first place. And with this done, I submitted it for testing. After submitting for testing, a couple days go by and you receive some numbers, which are the CPI, or cost per install, which basically means how much money they need to pay on ads before a player actually installs it. And it is necessary to get it below a certain amount of money, which is as low as possible, but you're in the green when you're like below 50 or 40 cents per install, which sounds like a lot, but in the end they will get way more money for it in return. And like you probably already guessed, it didn't get accepted. But that doesn't mean all is for nothing, because first of all, I got free marketing. Second of all, I got access to a dashboard in which they teach you what you can do in order to improve your games. So have colors, have perfects, have fun little juiciness in your game, and all of that stuff. And with that in mind, I made my second game. My second game is Flood. So with this new knowledge, I searched for a game that was fun to make and hopefully also play, but then with those new things I've taught on the dashboard. So I incorporated colors, levels, and just some more juiciness overall. So with this new game submitted, I waited a few days and saw the numbers coming back in. And surprisingly, they were lower because, well, I followed their guide. And of course, it didn't get accepted. And the reason that I say of course is because one very apparent thing. I didn't like the game in the first place. Let me explain that. Let's keep in mind that I'm not a gamer in the first place, I'm a game developer. And in my spare time I rather develop games than play them. And second of all, I'm not that familiar with the market. I know casual games, like basically back from 2014 and 15 when I was back in high school, but now I kind of drifted away, or at least at that point. So in the end, my CPI was around $1, which is lower than the first one, which was above $1.50. So that's a big improvement, but it also means that there's still room for improvement. But going back to the topic of the video, I did not make any money. Just like I said, I didn't have any ads on it and the publisher didn't accept it. And all of this was more than a year ago, so in the end, what have I learned? Well, that you first need to explore what does your player base want, and that maybe if you're done with testing and have submitted your game, you might want to enable ads and not leave them disabled, because if you do not have a source of money, how do you get any money in the first place? Like I said, I did this more than a year ago, and in that year a lot have changed. Let's start with the fact that I graduated cum laude on my game development study, and I'm going to the next level. I also got way more motivation on making games, and one very important other thing is that the game that I'm making right now is something I enjoy playing, and well, I guess that's the most important thing. You're not going to make a game which no one wants to play, including yourself, right? So why bother? Anyway, I know this is a short video, but it's more to show you how I achieved publishing my first games. And no, they weren't a big success, but at least someone noticed them, and that's all that counted in the beginning for me. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or want to see more, just let me know. I will take a look at it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!